but they were all high. The Beatles were
Yeah.
high, and none of them have their story straight. None of them can remember.
They don't
exactly
remember
what happened.
anything.
Yeah.
But I remember John telling me, "Yeah, you should never meet your heroes. I would never meet Elvis, Mick, if I were you."
That's fascinating. Yeah.
And so I didn't. I took John's advice.
Yeah.
Which is really stupid of me, really. But I mean, I would love to have met Elvis.
You can be very much in control of what you want to do and how you want to do it. Whenever I see footage of the early Stone shows, when guys have hit and you're in Denmark, you're trying to perform. Kids are running up on stage and you're singing and people are jumping on your back.
Yeah.
Girls are jumping on you. And so half of your time is spent getting out of a headlock.
Yeah.
While
singing.
Yeah, while singing.
And dancing.
And dancing.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
Those are the days.
Do those moments occur to you now, every now and then? Because things are so locked down now in a great way.
Yeah.
But those early days were just so
There was chaotic. There was no... See, the thing was, in those days, there wasn't any organization for these concerts.
Right.
And the organization was minimal. There was no really security. So if there was security, it was the local police. And the local police had no experience of a concert audience. They'd probably never done it before.
Yeah.
And in some places, like we used to play in like the West Coast in little places, and the police would come out and there would be like 14-year-old girls and they'd bang them on the heads with their nightsticks. That was their solution. I mean, it's like, huh?
We took care of it.
These could be your daughters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe they are. Bang, And it was the same in Europe,
Yeah.
I mean, they would just throw them, out of the door bodily. I mean, it was just chaotic. And
the other thing that strikes me, which has changed so much, is, not to embarrass you, but you reach this iconic level where if someone were to make a short list of who are the greatest entertainers of the 20th, early 21st century, and I'm including everybody, you're an Al Jolson, Michael Jackson, you're on the very, very short list of this iconic performer.
I want to see Al Jolson and Michael Jackson as a duo.
Al Jolson, like, and then moonwalks right past him.
Exactly. That's a good one.
But, you're in this position, and the press, I don't think people today understand how hostile the media was towards all pop groups.
Yeah.
But then specifically, they just decided, and it was kind of a press creation.
Yeah.
The Rolling Stone, they're bad. They're punks before punks.
They were bad. Rolling Stones bad, dirty. Rolling Stones, scary, shouldn't be allowed. And that's just sort of press stuff. But people were obviously people were really welcoming in most places. But there was a group that were really not welcoming, but maybe they didn't even know who you were, but they would just shout names at you. They didn't know who you were. They would just shout names. So it was very polarized in a kind of modern way. But just the look of you, which when you look at the pictures is pretwe normal. Really.
It's tame now.
Very tame.
But
in those days it wasn't. So it's that's why it's so hard to imagine, because we look pretty normal, and but not for those people that's especially in the US when we first went there, like say 64 in the outside of New York and LA, we were like freaks for them.
Yeah, it was also. I was always careful in my comedy career. A new band would come up or a new performer who looked strange, and my writers would say, "Let's make fun of that person." I would say, I do not want to be, because this footage doesn't age well.
No.
If this person goes on to be iconic.
Yeah.
And this is when, bands were coming on my show for the first time. Their first TV experience would be a No Doubt or a Green Day.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I was welcoming and didn't make any jokes, because they would look so stupid now.
Yeah.
In the 1960s, all performers decided that these long-haired freaks from England were a passing fad.
Yeah.
They had no conception that this was going to be the music that dominated people's lives for the next 60 years. They didn't know.
Well,
so
no
they
one
make
knew that. No one knew that. And so it was easy for them to be patronizing and to make a joke of it, because it's an easy, cheap gag,
Yeah.
I mean, Dean Martin did it,
Yes.
like famously. Ed
Was Dean Martin?
Ed Sullivan, we went on a lot. He didn't do it. Well, Ed Sullivan didn't do anything really.
Yeah.
He just, that was a different kind of person. But I don't think I think Ed Sullivan knew that he got good ratings because when the Beatles went on, whatever Ed Sullivan thought of the Beatles, he got great ratings when they went on. So he knew what you're saying, that I bet there's no point in me making fun of them because who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, there were a lot of exceptions. There were talk show people, say maybe local, I can't remember all their names now, like Mike Wallace and all. They were willing to have serious conversations with you. Yeah. They respected you a bit more. There were others that did not. And you didn't do their shows. So.
I don't think people today understand, not that they should, but the environment that you guys were in 64, 65, 66, actually all through most of the 60s.
Yeah. It was a hostile environment, particularly in America. I'm not only America. I mean, I'm not blaming America for being the only. There were hostile in England. There was a lot of hostility, but America was not really ready for this stuff. Really, they weren't. And obviously things changed. I mean, it didn't take long when you think about it in years, like you said, 64 by 66, it was changed a lot, so 2 or 3 years.
Elvis?
No, I never met Elvis.
That's incredible to me.
You know why? The Daily Mirror, an English tabloid that still exists, you always did publicity with the Daily Mirror, and the Beatles did it. There was a showbiz journalist, I can't remember his name, very famous at the time, and he took the Beatles in Los Angeles to visit with Elvis.
Yeah.
And there's pictures of this.
Yeah.
They went up to Elvis's house and his pool, and
they walked in and he was playing bass.
Was he?
Watching TV, playing bass.
Okay.
But they were all high. The Beatles were high, and none of them have their story straight. None of them can remember.
They don't remember anything.
Yeah.
Well, I remember John telling me, you should never meet your heroes. I would never meet Elvis, Mick, if I were you.
That's fascinating, yeah.
And so I didn't. I took John's advice.
Yeah.
Which is really stupid of me, really. But I mean, I would love to have met Elvis. Why I take John's advice? But I mean, at the time, it seemed to ring. Well,
he famously in the 64 tour, he kept saying the minute they got to America, John kept saying, "Where's Elvis? Where's Elvis? Where's Elvis?" That's the only person he wanted to meet. Then they met Elvis, and in Bel Air at his house, and John walked out and said, "Where's Elvis?" Because that was not the guy he wanted to meet.
Yeah.
He disappointed him.
Yeah. And he told me all this story more than once.
Yeah.
And so it sort of put me off. So I wanted to keep my Elvis to myself, my version of Elvis.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want my version of Elvis shattered like John's was. But maybe my Elvis version would have been different.
Well, I have to tell you, I've always wanted this first wave of pop stars in the 60s faced was, well, you can't be doing this when you're not in your 20s. Once you're 28, 29, this is for young kids to do. You can't be doing this. There's a great clip I saw. It's backstage. It might be Madison Square Garden. I think it's late 60s. Dick Cavett talking to you, and he said, "You think you'll be doing this when you're 60?" And he said, "And you have a cane?" And you said, "Sure." You said, You said Marlene Dietrich is still out there, and she's amazing. And I thought that's such a great answer, because I think the standard answer then was, well, of course not. But you said, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, there had been, I mean, see, the thing about rock music is it's always associated with youth. It was the music of rebellious youth, so to speak. And I mean, most rock bands are young. And you want there to be young rock bands, and, it sort of comes and goes, and there's been a slight revival of it now. But you thought that once you're out of the flush of youth, you wouldn't continue. But rock music kind of evolved, I suppose, in a way as well. And it also remained the popular music with the same group of people that were in your same age group. They still liked it. So they didn't move on to some other music. As they might have moved on, but they still kept a thing for their youth. I mean, there were people. I mean, Frank Sinatra was still a big star, and when he was older. But it's a different kind of music. You don't need quite so much energy to do Frank Sinatra as you need to do the Sex Pistols. I mean,
Right.
you or the Ramones.
Yeah, yeah.
I think John and I were very competitive too. John Lennon, but we're more competitive in being sarcastic.
Yes.
Just verbal competitiveness. Have you ever seen the video of him and Bob Dylan in the back of the limo?
Yes. I love that. I love that because Bob Dylan is not in good shape. They're in the back of a Rolls Royce. They're driving around London, I think in 65. And John's got that acid wit where he's saying, come, come, boy, come, come. You do suffer from scraggly forehead. And, you know, he turns it into an aspirin ad because Bob Dylan can't pull it together.
No. That's very much like John. Did
you guys get along?
Yeah, we really got along. But I mean, that was John at his most, you know, he's being very sarcastic with Bob, you know, and Bob's not really coming back with the zingy answers.
No, he's impaired and he's not. Yeah, he's not.
But it does give you a good illustration because that. Most of the other things you see of John are kind of like short, and that's kind of extended sarcasm.
Yes. So that was him all the time?
Not all the time. No.
He could be sweet.
He could, of course. He could be lovely.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's one of these people that if you said something stupid, he'd pick you up, you know.
We'd see it right. He'd clock it right away.
He'd clock it right away, you know. Yeah, but he was very competitive about it. He wasn't competitive about anything else.
Mm-hmm. You mean you think he was most competitive about being funny?
Yeah. Being funny and sarcastic.
Yes. More so than music.
It's a kind of Liverpool thing, I think.
Sure.
I think.